I have made $365,000 from one business since 2023, and that is just by sharing my digital products on social media. I have also helped thousands of other creators make a full-time living online. So let's start from the beginning, because obviously I didn't just start off making a ton of money with my digital products, because I actually started making money with my online business in January of 2023 or December of 2022, kind of depending on how you lay out the income. But I wasn't making a ton of money from it. I was making enough to survive, but I wasn't making like a massive amount and getting super rich off of it until I launched my first digital product that could sell passively. So all I had to do was share it on social media and people could buy it, and I didn't have to offer any other services to go along with it. That was my first real digital course that I put effort into. If you haven't seen my content before, I do a lot of stuff with authors and helping authors market their books, and I got started with digital courses years ago, just doing like really tiny courses on Skillshare on how to design book covers, but those never really made me all that much money, and if we're being honest, they weren't very good courses. And there's a lot I would do different, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about how I launched my first digital product and how it made me a ton of money, because in 2023, all of the advice that everyone was giving out at the time was go high ticket, go high ticket. Your course should be super expensive. Your course shouldn't be less than $500. Your course shouldn't be less than $1,000. But I just didn't feel like that vibed with what I wanted, because at the time I wasn't making four-figure course money, and I wasn't making the type of money that justified selling a four-figure course. So instead, I launched my first course, which was a massive course with a ton of information for authors on how to use TikTok. I launched that at the very end of September in 2023, and the first week it was out, I made 2 sales, and I was like, oh no, I'm a failure. I put all of this work in, expecting it to have returns and expecting to make real money from it. And it's not making me enough money to do anything to pay my bills. And I had stopped taking client work in preparation for this launch. I had stopped doing all these other things to prepare for this launch. But despite the fact that the course was telling authors, hey, post on social media consistently, I wasn't following my own advice. I wasn't posting on social media consistently. But once I did, that's where you see that income spike, because October 3rd, yes, it was on Mean Girls Day, October 3rd, 2023, I shared a post in a group for authors briefly mentioning that I did some TikTok stuff, but I was overall talking about like my book sales and how I made more money from my books with TikTok, and then kind of briefly, even just offhandedly mentioned that I did like TikTok services and that I had like a TikTok side hustle. And that got everyone curious. And that first day that I actually posted about it and made a good post about it, I made $3,000. And that week I made a lot of fucking money, okay? And in October of 2023, I made $23,000. And then in both November and December, I made $40,000. And I'm not saying I made a combined 40,000. I'm saying in November I made 40 grand. In December I made 40 grand. It was ridiculous. It was the most money I'd ever made. I was totally flabbergasted. I had no idea that something like that could happen to someone like me. But then after that, I listened to a lot of advice. A lot of people at that point had taken my course and said, well, it's worth more money. You should charge more. It's worth so much. You should charge more for it. So I increased the price to what everyone said it was worth, and my income flatlined. I could barely clear $10,000 a month, and by then I had made the mistake of having my expenses go up pretty significantly, including hiring people to take on some of the work. But with the course being so expensive and everyone being so shocked at how much more expensive it was, I wasn't making enough sales to pay my bills. I wasn't making enough sales to pay the people I had hired and to keep myself and my family alive. It was super stressful. I ended up, after just a few months, decreasing that price, not back to the original $99 price, but to $199. And I was still struggling with selling courses. I still wasn't posting super consistently on my TikTok or anything because I was just so anxious about whether or not I'd even be able to pay people. I was trying all of these new things, which is a mistake I've always told people not to do. Don't hop around to 80 new things because it's going to make it much harder to be consistent and to make money with the thing you should be making money from. However, in that year, I did launch a few new courses, and this spring in 2025, when I recorded this video, I actually decided to bundle all of the courses together for a ridiculous price, which was $299 for 5 courses, which were about $600 when you combined them all together. So what that taught me and what it did was it created a massive incentive for people to purchase because they could see the individual prices of the courses that were still available for purchase on my website at $199, at $50, at $99, depending on what the course was. They could see these individual prices and they could see exactly what money they were saving by getting the bundle. I also finally posted an interview that I did with a millionaire author in April this year, but I did the interview last June. In June of 2024, I recorded this interview, and I'm so lucky and blessed that this person was already my friend and that we knew each other, and she kind of understood that I was having some struggles with my mental health and was struggling to get stuff done. But when I posted that video and that interview, even though the interview actually pushed people toward her content and her courses, I ended up making $4,000 in 4 days from her video going up, and I was like, well, shit, why haven't I been posting on YouTube all this time? So I started posting on YouTube about my stuff and about my courses and teaching people how to do the things that are outlined in the courses. And posting there consistently once a week not only got me a lot of sales, but got me a lot of content that I could use for my short form video, for Facebook, for Instagram, for TikTok, for Snapchat, for Pinterest, for whatever. For M2 or whatever the new TikTok thing is going to be called this fall. If you want to learn my exact strategy for creating and selling digital content, make sure to check out the link in the description. Otherwise, there are a few things that you need to do to sell digital products really, really well. Because we always see people going super viral and making a ton of money from TikTok Shop selling like $5 products, right? And we see that a lot and we want to kind of tap into that and make that kind of money. But the thing is, there are a lot of thresholds you need to hit before you can start selling on these platforms and before these other programs will start paying you for ads on things like YouTube. So what I have found, if you don't have a digital product, and I did this myself before I had my own digital product, and I still do this with a lot of like the author products I believe in, I started affiliate marketing other people's digital products because not only was I putting in the same exact amount of work for these things as I would have for like a cheap, shitty $10 product on TikTok Shop, I was also making a lot more money per commission with the same amount of effort. And I was making significantly better content and more useful content than just saying, hey, buy this piece of junk that you're gonna stop using here in 5 weeks or so. So I didn't feel like I was pushing overconsumption to people. I didn't feel like I was wasting people's money because I was pushing things that I genuinely believed in and that had made me money. And within my own courses and my own stuff, I was also teaching people how to sell my courses as well. So I had affiliates selling my products and using the strategies that I used as a seller and as an affiliate to sell these products, which then led to more sales for me and me being able to give back money to people who were putting a lot of effort in. And instead of making like 10 cents off of a sale of a shower head or whatever, they were making $40 off of a course sale for a single course, or $60 off of like the bundle. And when they were posting consistently, that meant they were making thousands of dollars a month just from my stuff. So if you don't have your own digital products, affiliate marketing can be the way to go, but I recommend going with higher ticket affiliate marketing, like courses or something like that. It doesn't have to be my courses, just something you believe in that you can sell. And the great thing about this is you don't have to have an audience for it. Just have a link in your bio, and when people ask about it, say, check out the link in my bio. Or on TikTok, you want to censor it to something like this because they don't like you directing people away from their app. Or if you're on YouTube, you have the link in the description and you mention halfway through and at the end of the YouTube video, very, very super briefly, hey, if you want to learn more about this, check out the link in the description. You might notice I already did this in this video, and that's because that's what I do and that's how I make money from my channel, because I don't have my channels, you know, with millions and millions of viewers and super duper monetized. And the point is, you don't have to be monetized with millions of viewers to make a crap ton of money. My other YouTube channel currently, as of posting this, has less than 7,000 followers, and that is still making me a ton of money from my course sales. Enough money that if you're wondering why I'm not filming in my office, it's because my office is a disaster because we're packing to move to Europe. And if you are from the United States, you know how expensive that's going to be, especially with pets. So we're getting ready to literally move to Europe because of my course sales and because of being able to post on YouTube and then repurpose that content. So some basic tips for posting a YouTube video is to start with a hook. Don't start by introducing yourself. Make sure you start with something interesting. Start with what people came here to watch. The next thing is you want to then repurpose that YouTube video and batch create content for all of your socials. I use Vista Social for my post scheduling because literally all I have to do is upload the videos, create a batch post, and I can get like 40 posts up in 5 minutes across a ton of different socials. So I'm no longer having to put in a ton of work to get all of these posts going up. And then I have posts up for TikTok, for Facebook, for Instagram, for all of that, just because I created my shorts using like YouTube's clipping and like make a short feature. So I use that feature to make the initial shorts, and then I schedule them with Vista Social. If you want to learn the exact strategies that I use to make this kind of money and the exact strategies I've used to make 6 figures a year since launching my first digital product, make sure to check out the link in the description.